Hey guys, welcome again to this section. So in this section we are going to be creating the login page and also the registration page. So to do that, we are going to be creating a new file under views folder. Don't forget views folder. So a new file, because we are going to make everything simple. So this welcome page, you can delete it. We don't need welcome.blade. So in this index area, I'm going to create a new file called auth.blade.php. Yeah, so in auth.blade.php, I'm going to copy everything we have in index, since we already have the extents of layouts app. So we're going to use the same thing on our auth.blade.php area. So in this area now, we need header and also footer. So at the moment, header is not specified and footer is not specified. So we're going to go to app.blade.php and add header and also footer. So to add header and footer, let's check basic header and footer on Bootstrap 5 website. So let's go to component navbar. Okay, navbar. So let's pick a simple navigation bar that we can use. So let's use this particular one here. So you can use any navigation bar you like, but I just need something simple. So over here now, I'm going to paste the code you copy. So let me zoom out so you can see my screen. So let me zoom out. Okay, I've zoomed out that. So this is the header. So this is the navigation header. So in this nav area, let me dump everything in a div. So I'm going to say div dot header. Okay, to make it more cool, so we're going to copy everything we have in this nav element into the div element. Okay, so here we have nav bar, we have home, we have features. So all this link, we are going to change it. So to start with, let's change this to logo. So here will be home URL. So I'm going to print the home URL. Yes, we are going to use URL, then using static method 2 to where home page. So that's the static method to get the URL 2. Okay, so to home page now is asking for toggling. So if it's a mobile, this toggler will come up. So this is just about Bootstrap 5 layouts, so don't worry about this. Is a less concern. Okay, so the next thing we need to pass here is the login and also here register. So let's take out this current one. Okay, delete that. Here we have login. Here we have register. So register. So this login area, we are going to also pass URL to login area. So we are going to call this login, though it's not defined yet, so we are going to define it later. And over here we are going to pass URL to register. So register. Okay, good. So now we have login and also register page passed. So the next thing we need to do now is to save this page. So let's check how this header looks like on our browser. So I'm going to head down to my browser now, open new tab, 127, enter. Okay, so let's wait for it to load. As you can see, our header is actually working. So here we have logo, here we have login, here we have register. So we are making everything simple. The main purpose of this project is to have a working e-commerce that you can make payments. Okay, so it's not about the UI. Okay, so the next thing we need to pass now is the footer. So now let's just generate a simple footer. So I'm going to write a new footer code here, which should be div.footer, and then in the footer area, I'm going to have simple footer text. So copyright 2022. Okay, so let's see how this look like. So we have something like this. So let me centralize this data. So I'm going to say text center. Okay, then the background should be bg primary. Okay, fresh. Okay, text white. Let's make this guy text white. So class of text white. Okay, let's make it bold. Let's give it a font weight of bold. So font weight bold. Okay, and what else? Let's give it a padding of 3. So let's check it out. Okay, so we have something cool at the footer. So this bg primary is not really good enough, so let's use something more great. So let's use bg dark. Okay, so now we have our footer, we also have our header. Okay, so the next thing to do now is to go back to the auth area. And this auth area is where we're going to have the login form and also the registration form. So in this section now, we are going to define a new div. So this div is going to take a class of container again. So here we are going to have container. Then inside this container, we are going to have a 2 form feed. So the first form feed will be form and method. Method will be post because it's login. So method will be post, and in the first form area, we are going to have div.form group. Then this form group is going to have a label. This label will be email, and the label is going to have an input field of email type. Okay, so the name will be email. Okay, and the class will be form control. Okay, so we have the email, we have the input. So the next thing we need to clone, this guy, change this to password. Okay, so we have password, we have email. The next thing is button with the type of submit. Okay, so here we are going to have login, and over here we are going to have a class of what, btn primary. Let's use primary. So btn primary. So we have that. Now according to this container, we only have container here, so we need to make a group. So we're going to introduce row and also column. But before I do that, let's print out what we have here. So let's see how this look like. So refresh. Oh, sorry, we have no points the auth.blade.php. Don't mind me. Okay, so what I need to do now is I'm going to create a new. Okay, we are not creating it yet. Let's point this auth first. So I'm going to go to web.php rather. So in this web.php area, I'm going to head down to my home controller. So you can click on this home controller from your web.php directly using control click, or better still, you can search using control E and search home controller. Control E to search home controller. So in this home controller area, I'm going to have a new definition of function. So this function area is going to be let's call this auth. So it's going to be auth. So return what? Return auth. Okay, so now we are returning auth. So this auth is going to be pointed at our web.php area. So this route part is very, very important. So I'm going to make a clone of this current one. So once I clone it, I'm going to write the auth here. Sorry, not auth. Yeah, we can call it auth since we are joining login and also register together. So once you click login, it still go to auth. If you click register, it still go to auth. So we are still using the same auth area. So you can also have something like this, register, any declaration you want, but I'm merging the login and register page together. Okay, so I'm going to change this to auth also. Save it, reload. Okay, so now we have also, I'm going to pass this parameter /auth. /auth. Now as you can see, I have my email, I have my password, and I have my login. So in this auth area, I'm going to go back to the view layout area. So in this view layout area, I will try to make this thing look good. So let's just let's cut this form out, then introduce div.row. So in this row area, I'm going to introduce div.column. So I'm going to introduce column 12. I'm going to specify individual columns. So on column 12, so LG, yeah, on column 12, that is bigger screen. On LG is going to be 6. Then on medium screen size is going to be 6 also. Then on small devices is going to be 12. So it's going to fill the screen. Okay, so I will also duplicate this layout for the second login area. So after adding this form above here, I'm going to have h3 that says login. So once we have login here, the second area is going to be register. So h3 register. Then I'm going to pass this form. So it's just the same format, but I will just add some other definition to it. So in this area, we are going to have a duplicate of this guy above. So here we tell full name. So here will be text. Here will be text name. Okay, so we have full name here, and we also have email, we have password. Okay, so let's refresh this. Now as you can see, we have login, we have register. So let's give a space between the button. So I'm going to introduce let's just add margin top here. So mt equals to 1. The same applies to this place, mt equals to 1. So let's check it out now. Okay, there's a little space between the two. So now it's just this is not UI class, so don't expect my UI to be extremely cool. So so pardon me about that. My UI is not really good with this, but the main focus is to get our e-commerce running. So with the backend side, we are going to do very fine. So let's target the bottom, margin bottom 2. Let's see, margin bottom 2. Okay, good. Margin bottom, margin top. So let me just introduce padding to it then. So padding py, that is top and bottom. So py2. Let's see this. Okay, so let's introduce the 3. Let's see. Okay, good. I'm improving. This is great. Okay, so what we need to do next is to create a new class. A new class of user controller. So we need to have a new class of user controller that we can handle all these things. So I believe Laravel normally create that by default. Let me check it out. Okay, we don't have the class. As you can see, the class is not here at the moment. At the model, okay, we have the model already. This is the model, but the class is not set. So since our model is available, but the class is not set yet, so what I'm going to do is to introduce the class. So we only have home controller class here. So now let's create a new class of user. So use Ctrl J to bring up your terminal, or you click terminal from here, then new terminal. So here now I have a running terminal. So what I need to do is to click on plus or open the existing one I have. So here I'm going to say php artisan make, sorry, that's an error. Let me clear my screen. Okay, clear. So php artisan make, then column controller. So this is how you make your controller. So what controller am I making? I'm making user controller. So I already have a model. If I don't have a model, I'm going to use what -m to migrate it. Okay, so now we have what user controller created. So in this area now, I can access the data I want to manipulate in my user area. So this user controller class, we are going to be using it after we create the user. But the first, we have to use home controller to create the account. So let me close this terminal now. Okay, so since we already have a model of user, So what is our model accepting? It's accepting name, email, and also password. So we are accepting name also. Let's check it out. So we are accepting name, okay, email, and also password. So we are fine, we are good to go. So the next thing I need to do now, sorry, let me take this out. Control W is what I used to take that out. So what I need to do here now is to first of all accept all the form input from auth views. That is everything we enter on this registered page. We need to accept it. So I'm going to go back to web.php area. So we're going to create a new route of post. So this post route is going to specify to a new location, so that we don't mismatch what we are doing here. So what location are we pointing it to? So alt/ register. So it's going to point to alt/ register location, and this register has to be declared over here. So we are going to say function register. So register is going to accept request. So I'm going to pass request here, then request. So our request is already imported. If your request is not imported, make sure you import it here. So now this is the request I will be accepting. Now in this area, I'm going to log the request we are receiving. So I'm going to say return request. So I'm returning all the request that is coming from the form, just to make sure it's working. So to debug that, we need to do something like that. So I'm going to copy this URL, then go to alt.blade.php area, then locate the register area. Then the action here are going to point the URL into this place. So URL to where? To alt/register. So this is where I'm pointing to, but by default using this kind of route might not take effect with this kind of format. So the best way to process this your URL is to do something like this. So take out the slash, because the slash will automatically be generated. Take out this this current slash here, then close this, then you're going to introduce another close, then put a comma here. So if your URL is longer than this, let's assume you have another slash. So this is going to be in an array. So you're going to do something like this: array, then slash another link. So this is how you are going to pass it naturally. So it's going to work. So since I'm running on single parameter, so I'm going to do something like this. So we can accept alt/register. Okay, so save that. Now by default, if you want to submit a form on Laravel, it's not going to be accepted because token is not applied. So let me try to submit this form without passing any token. So I'm going to say sorry, we have login here. Let me change it to register. Okay, so we have email. Okay, reload. Okay, so I'm going to pass then my email admin@admin.com, and the password is this. I'm going to click on register. As you can see, it says what page expire. The reason why this page is expire is because of the token that is not being passed. So we need to pass token in order for that expiry to be omitted. So what we need to do now is to pass in CSRF. So I'm going to pass CSRF. So this CSRF is going to generate a new input feed with a token. So I will show you that input feed on this page. So let me go back again. So it's not going to work. As you can see, it gives error. So we are not submitting anything in this route. So what I'm going to do now is to go back again to the register page. So in this register page, I'm going to reload. Then let me show you that token. So let me export my elements. As you can see, we have it here. Token equals to this. So this token is going to be automatically generated. So that's how Laravel passed their forms. So for security purpose. Now let me submit this again. Sorry, not to pass email. Let me submit this again. As you can see, is returning back. to this place. So something is wrong. Let's check where we are having the issue. So we are submitting as post into this URL. Okay, home controller. Okay, register route. Is this set? Okay, as you can see, my method is not set, so that's where the problem is coming from. So this is my method, register. Okay, so let me reload this page again, take it out. Okay, submit. Oh, come on. Okay, and as you can see, it's working now. So we have our name, we have our email, and also we have our password. This is great. So the next thing we need to do is to go to the method of register. Then this request all, we are going to accept it and pass it one by one. So what we need to do here is variable name is equals to what? Request name. So request. So actually I'm using GitHub Copilot. So if you are using GitHub Copilot, GitHub Copilot can help you in accessing that. I will just, what I need to do is just to type, okay, get email from request. So this is what I'm going to type, and it's going to get the email from me. As you can see, it get the email. So the same thing with the name. So get name from request. So if you are using GitHub Copilot, you can also do the same thing. So it's going to get a name for me. The same applies to the password. As you can see, it shows me the password. So now we have my email, I have my name, and also have my password. Let me check if it's correct. As you can see, is what is validated, is actually correct. So the next thing we need to do is to check if the email is actually entered, or the input field is also what validated. So we need to validate all these requests. So I'm going to say, okay, validate request. Okay, so just drop it down and it's going to process the validation. And as you can see, we have what email validation, and it also check from users. So if a user already has it, it's going to check. And for the name, I'm not validating the email. I'm not validating name. So you can enter anything for your name. And for the password, should I validate password? Don't validate password since we are in test project. But if you are in your live project, you can validate those pattern with your what's it called, your password and code. So now I validate this guy's email and also the user. So once you are done validating that, so it will create the user. As you can see, app new user. Actually, I haven't imported this guy. So what we need to do is to import this guy, and it's not actually from app. So sometimes GitHub Copilot might have an issue. So what we need to do is to take out this guy. So I will delete that guy, and I will import using my auto importer. I have auto import on my VS Code, so you can do the same thing. You can install this extension, PHP. You're gonna see it, PHP IntelliSense, or you get PHP extension pack. So you can get PHP extension pack, so it will help you do that. So I already have other versions, so you can also get this. It will help you achieve that. So what I need to do now is to import this user. So I'm going to say user. Let me import this guy first. So I'm going to say user delete R. So once I click on the R, I'm going to see different user that we have here. This is the user controller, and this is the user model. So this user model is what I need. I click on it, and it's going to import the user model. Can you see? So it actually imports the user model for me. So I don't need to do any stress by copying the namespace from here. Let me show you the model. This is the model. So this is the namespace. So naturally, I have to copy this and go back to home controller, pass it manually, then point to the class. But since I'm using auto importer, I don't need to do that. So what I need to do next is to use double quote, double quote, just like a static method. So Laravel has a static method of create that we do that for you. So once I have this, as you can see, my GitHub Copilot has done that already for me. In fact, nowadays I don't code a lot more. GitHub Copilot immediately add this for me. So now we have the name, we have the email, we have the password. So you can either use bycrypt or you use hash. You can use hash make. You can either use hash make to make your password. I normally use hash make. So let me import hash make. So import hash make. So as you can see, I normally use hash make or hash verify, but you can also use the by encrypt to encrypt it, but I normally use hash crypt. So let me use hash make to make my password. So my password is now what generated. So the next thing I need to do is to return. Once the user has been created, we're going to return or redirect to the auth page. So let's redirect to auth page. So redirect to auth page with we're going to redirect with auth page with authentication. So we're going to say return redirect. So return redirect back, return redirect back. So since we are running from there, so return redirect back with sources user was created successfully. So we are going to return this sources variable to our user, to what's it called, to our page, to our auth page, this current page that we are coming from. So this current page we are coming from is where we're going to redirect back to. Okay, so let me pause this video here so it won't be longer. So in the next section we are going to complete this current section that we are. So now let me leave here for now and come back to it.